Here we go with a wee social experiment here.
Right, Joe, sit down now.
I'm going to do my best. Did I sit down so
So,
well?
here we are,
Right.
the Fox Rasmussen clan.
Yes.
We've actually, me and Rory, have unlocked the door to the basement to
Yeah.
let Mr. Joby Fox out into the real world again. Because we've locked him in here for 2 years to write new songs.
No chance.
And now they're finished, and we're going to slowly get him back into life again.
Absolutely never happened. Never happened like that at all. That's just shite. You're talking shite. Talking shite.
Alright,
That's it.
well, what the dickens have you been doing down here for the last 2 years?
What the dickens was
What's
naughty
been
old
going
Hector.
on?
Writing songs, learning. Learning mostly, I think, is the key. Well, I say learning, but not just learning, producing. I always remember Bob Dylan told me not to name drop today, so
I'm not doing that.
I'm not going to name drop. But Mick Glossop, quite a well-known producer, he said, always remember, Joby, when you're working with music, produce something. Do you know what I mean? And just look at that simplicity of the word produce. So I've been producing.
Okay.
I've been producing music.
But see, I thought your album was finished, and then you started fiddling about with this song, No Home,
That's right.
and all of a sudden it's the single that's coming out of this album,
The first
and
single.
it just appeared out of nowhere. What's been going on?
That's right. And it sounds like one of them, on the tracks, it sort of interviews or ideas where you go, I was working on the song, and then I had this song, and you didn't think it was going to make it the album. Yeah, well, it was a bit like that. But it came around through me trying to learn piano over there. And I was tinkering around.
Which is what you were doing during lockdown.
Yes, exactly.
You'd never really played piano before.
And yes, exactly. Never really played it. And, so I was farting around with it and feeling my way with a few chords and stuff like that. And I hit upon this kind of this feeling, if you like, came upon me, like, and it was something that I really wanted to, write about for a long time, because,
Why?
well, I've been reading my Irish history a lot,
Right.
and I know that you being me wife, you would know.
Yeah,
That-
because I've been reading with you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah.
been the last 10 years, really.
Yeah.
We've been reading, our Irish history, and it's just it's compelling stuff, And of course, there's parallels with what's happening today. I work, I was involved in setting up an NGO that works with refugees,
Well,
and
let's be honest.
yeah,
You went down to volunteer during the refugee crisis. And you traumatised yourself because you were working so hard down there.
I wouldn't get too hung up with myself.
No, but it had
it's the
a
people
profound-
that were explaining.
What I'm saying is, it had a profound effect on you.
Of course,
And
it
this is
would.
what's now coming out.
Well, of course, it had a profound effect. More to the point, it had a profound effect on the frigging refugees themselves, and they continue to be the people that are dealing with it day in and day out. I can come home and I could have come home anytime. They didn't, So I don't feel too much sorry for myself.
But
about
there's
that,
a long way. There's a long way from Greece to Ireland, and from now till 1840 in Ireland.
Yeah.
So where's the connection?
Well, I think the connection's obvious. It's in 1840s. There was forced migration in Ireland, and it still has net effects on Ireland today. And also, if you look at it from American point of view, Joe Biden, he's the president over there, and he can trace his great grandparents or whatever on either side that went out in the coffin ships. So, these things are still happening today. Only, I happen to see the connection, and I'm sure people do see the connection. But as I said, getting back to the song, where did it come from? Well, it's come from come from that. You know, it's about the Irish famine, and it's about a family leaving their home, forced migration because of the famine, and having to go on a ship, a coffin ship as they were called, to America.
Not knowing if they'll survive the journey.
Exactly. And that's, you know, when all the good people involved in refugee rescue were on the front line working, you know, that's what we seen every day. We seen people who had left their home, left everything, and they were going to a country like Germany was a big popular thing, or they were coming to Ireland, or coming to England or Denmark or whatever, you know. And for them, you know, it was just they had no home, you know. And so that's what it was about. But as I say, you know, I'm reluctant to feel sorry for myself because I had a few traumas, you know, during the work. You know what I mean?
Well, at least you can express yourself. That's, you know, that's how you get through difficult things.
Absolutely. You know, you know, I would say, like, you know, the refugees came through all that there, and there's still people struggling away. You know, I've been involved in it for 7 or 8 years, and you know, you just try, you know. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm all right. There is no trauma. There's no trauma. I don't accept that.
What's
You may say so. But
What's your favourite song, Ruth,
Oh yeah.
of Daddy's?
Oh yeah. Must be Stronger.
You like Stronger?
Yeah.
Stronger came before this album.
Yeah.
You also like I Love You. It's on
Yeah.
this new album too, yeah. What is this album about, Joe?
Well, it's called I Once Was a Hawk, but Now I'm a Dove. And it's about me. That there statement is like, it's about people like me who started off in life being hawkish.
What's
You
a
know,
hawk?
A hawk is, when you sort of think of it in sort of political terms or whatever, you know, it's somebody who's more confrontational, possibly militant,
On the warpath.
on the warpath sort of thing, yeah. And the dove is obviously the polar opposite of that. Is a dove is somebody who is, you know, espousing peace and all that. That was my transformation in life. I started off as a bit of a hawk, you know.
How did
Growing
that
up in
happen?
the West Belfast and all the rest of it, you know, with the British Army on the streets doing atrocious things to the people of West Belfast, you know, and you know, there was all sorts of atrocious things happened, you know what I mean, all around, UBF, the IRA, you know, everybody, and you know, and it was all, you know, I come from a you know, place where people were sat upon in many ways, you know. And then, but what ensued after that there was, you know,
You had a
killing and
one-track
atrocity
mind.
all round, and you know, none of it's really, you know, none of it was positive, none of it was good, you know. But I made it being on one side of that
It
fence.
was polarised.
Yeah, it was
You
totally
were on the one
polarised.
track.
I was on the one track, yeah,
polarised.
yeah. That the British Army were my enemy.
But
Like.
where does this transformation happen? Where does the transformation happen?
Well, you know,
it didn't just happen now because you were
I'm
an
sort of
album.
fed up talking about it, to be honest with you. I have
don't
talked
know.
about it many times over the years. And, you know, I started off as a roadie in a band. And then I met a guy from the Shankill Road. And, you know, started getting out to more gigs. It was about 16. And, you know, meeting him from the Shankill and everything was like, you know, it was a big thing. Like, we were getting stopped by the British Army at night and they wouldn't believe us. Where you from, mate? Oh, I'm from...
But you're supposed to be fighting each other.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, that was supposed
So
that was a
already
pivotal
yeah.
moments there, like, you know.
Already then you realised the music, you know, would play a different role in your life. Took you off on a different course altogether.
Absolutely.
So it's been a long process then becoming a dove. And
Absolutely.
how
But
did-
never deny my roots, never deny, you know, never deny what's been, you know, what I've seen, the injustices I've seen, you know, but I'm trying very hard to find words to explain that I recognise that there was hurt on all sides, you know what I mean, and it was inexcusable a lot of the times, and, you know, although I found plenty of excuses, because of the environment I lived in. And no one would blame me if you had to walk in my shoes for a while. But it's about panning out and looking at the overall situation and applying a bit of humanity to it will help you understand, ultimately help you understand, if you see it from a human perspective and not from a social, or not from a political perspective, and not from, historical perspectives and all of that. Historical perspectives they're useful in some places too. It's good to look back, to look forward, but what I'm saying is not from historical grievances. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
you don't just...
I don't know why I'm making much sense here.
Yeah, but you don't just jump from anxiety, fear, hatred or whatever and into embracing humanity and looking at everybody as fellow human beings, you know what I mean?
No.
There's something that has a process has to happen. You have to look at it takes a long time to face your own identity and what it is that you are. And then in that process recognizing the other human being. Right? It didn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, well, I think the common denominator is pain.
Pain?
Pain.
Recognizing the pain?
Recognising the pain. Recognising the pain when the IRA went and walked into the house of some policeman or whatever, and he's sitting there having breakfast with his children, and they walked in and killed him in front of his children or whatever, you know what I mean? There's going to be anger there, obviously. It's like recognising it. Recognising, that's going to perpetuate more violence. You know what I mean? And I'm not putting the blame all on the IRA, the British Army, the Loyalists, British intelligence. They all done these things. It's all wrong, and it had to stop because it was feeding off itself. It was, I remember, I think, and I'm not sure this is true, but I think quite a prominent loyalist was assassinated, and his last words were, "This has got to stop." Kind of blew my mind.
So it has to stop with you personally. Everybody.
It has to stop. Yeah, it has to stop with.
Would you want to take those out into
with
the kitchen?
us, with me personally. And you have to be aware of cause and effect. Because you do this, there's going to be an effect.
That's how you become a dove.
That's why you become a dove. And
Choose
bring
the
that
path of
human
peace.
element. Yeah, choose the path of peace. Bring that element of humanity into it, and begin to understand. Try to be empathetic. Cross over mentally to the other side and say, well, if that happened to you, how are you going to feel? And try to work things out from there.
I suppose that's how music sometimes plays a role. It opens the door into your empathy.
It does.
It brings out certain feelings,
musicians
emotions that connects us.
Yeah, well, musicians are like telepathic. They're like, if you played in the band, I've played in the band, 2 great bands, and maybe a few others, filling around. But you're basically telepathic.
Yeah.
You can sort of anticipate certain things and all this, and you sort of, yeah. What about you, Roy? What do you think of music?
Good. I'm even learning it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good. I think we should have more musicians in the future and like maybe make some more instruments to make more music.
Sounds
Freaky
good.
dicky, Roy.
Have more melodies.
Yeah.
Why? Because it makes us happier. What do you think?
Like we all have have different types of ideas for music. So
cool.
I think we should just vote in the future. Like vote
Right.
for
more music.
for more things, more music, like
Oh, I see
including
what you mean.
more discovery and history. We could discover something like in history and like music in history and mix it with some other music known now,
Yeah.
and then we make a new melody or something.
And you saw it's
Oh, that
interesting. Huh? So, what's your favourite melody?
So I don't really have that right
Raglan
now.
Road.
Oh yeah, on Raglan Road. That
You
would
like
be-
that melody, don't you?
Yeah.
Can you give us a quick
But-
blast of it? Just the first line of it or whatever. Mm-hmm. On
Raglan Road of an autumn's day I saw her first. I knew that her dark hair was way fastener that I might one day rule. I saw the danger and I walked along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawn of the day.
Hey!
Yeah.
Not bad when you don't have any accompaniment.
Yeah.
It's an old
Yeah,
Irish
yeah.
poem, eh?
Turn around there and face that camera there where people, or get up beside mommy there where people can see you. You know what I mean?
Well done, Rory.
But, you know, listen to the song. That's all I'm saying. You know, I would say to people, go and listen to the song, No
Feel it.
Home, and feel it, and you know, listen to the album. I Once Was a Hawk, but now I'm a Dove. There are songs on there, and I think that it's a natural thing coming from. I put it. My last album was called The End of the War, and it's not all about post-conflict themes, but there's quite a bit of it there.
Yeah.
You know, and listen to that, and listen to Once Was a Hawk, and now I'm a Dove. Let the music do the talking, and we're normal family. We're just pretty normal family, and just
No,
you know,
we don't.
well, I love creating music, and so do you. You love to create things and
Talk
you know,
about the world around us.
talk about the world around us, and
We're part of it.
yeah, and living in time. Living.